If you're a horror fan in 2026, you've probably seen some pretty crazy stuff by now.
I've loved horror movies for quite a long time, so sometimes it's hard for me to find a movie that truly makes me feel terrified. The kind of fear I'm after isn't really found in most horror movies, unfortunately. Most commonly, I see movies that have a good plot, or might even have a few good scares. The disappointment in most films stems from the fact that I can usually go the rest of my day perfectly fine after. Even sleep well at night. Because there's something deeply wrong with me, I'm after movies that make me afraid to turn the lights out at night. I want to leave the theater and be rattled enough to do irrational stuff, like check my back seats before getting in my car, or be reluctant to look out of my kitchen windows into the engulfing darkness of the night. I recently got this expectation met when I went to see Obsession on a whim with a friend opening week. To say I was terrified was an understatement. The last movie that sent me home this shaken up was Hereditary back in 2018. When I left the movie theater after seeing Obsession, I was so disoriented that I went the wrong way home for a full 15 minutes before realizing that anything was wrong. When I finally made it home and stepped my dog out for the night, I found myself afraid to look around my dimly lit neighborhood, the fear of being watched in the forefront of my senses. Later that night, with my dog cuddled up against me, I hesitated to shut the lights off for the first time since 2018. Afraid of what the darkened corners of my bedroom could be hiding. Before we get into it, hi, I'm Lee, and I think too much about music. I like to take a song and dissect what makes it perfect for the scene that it takes place in. And today, we're going to be talking about the Current Joys song, Kids. This song always shoots me back to my early 20s, when I was just a kid, listening to Current Joys in abandoned parking lots. It's used in Obsession, when it plays in Sarah's car as she and Bear meet up to view her college acceptance letter. Before, shit hits the fan. Or should I say brick? Much like Sarah, I also enjoy listening to sad boy music, which is why I knew this particular song right away. Because I already knew the lyrics, my brain did what it does automatically, and I started applying the song to the narrative at hand. That's when I knew that this song could be more than just a mood choice. The song Kids can actually be read as a summary of the movie from Bear's point of view, and it can also be used to talk about the theme of manipulation that runs throughout the film. A big reason why I think this song is the perfect choice here is that when viewed through the lens of Obsession's narrative style, it can emphasize Bear's role as an unreliable narrator. To those that may not know, an unreliable narrator is when you, as the audience, are forced to see the reality through the narrator's eyes and their perception of the world around them. That narrator either has a motivation to mislead you as to paint them in a better light, or the narrator truly has a flawed perception of reality.
Hey Goop, what's up? Cool binder.
Hey Goop, wanna come over to my house today?
They all hated me.
Personally, I think Bear ping-pongs between these two categories throughout the film, which is what makes his descent from an unconscious abuser into a conscious abuser extra compelling. You, as the audience, have no other way to continue the story than to listen to this unreliable narrator, forced to scan everything they say and do for misinformation or deception. Obsession brilliantly pipes this song through the speakers of Sarah's car as the unreliable Bear farms sympathy from a situation that he is the true aggressor in. Basically, he would listen to these lyrics and go, wow, this song is so me. Let's take a look at these lyrics and see for ourselves. To start, each stanza begins with the line, "I'm just a kid," which gives this song almost a temper tantrum kind of vibe. I'm just a kid and life's not fair. I'm just a kid and no one's life has ever been as hard as mine. Wah. It's giving that one screenshot where a woman texts her dad, "I'm just a girl," and then he texts her back. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like it minimizes you as a person. In this context, it's Bear minimizing his responsibility by stating that he's just a kid. He's one of those hopeless romantics after all, so he should be given leniency. While this line can be seen as a quick way to shirk responsibility, it can also be paired with his avoidance of conflict throughout the film. As much as I love this song, it's a pity party song, and its application to Bear's generally hands-off approach to life is telling. He seems to be stagnant and afraid of change. He can't ask Nikki out, he won't dig any deeper when Nikki lies about her dad's illness, and he won't tell his friends that something is very, very wrong with Nikki. We'll talk more about Bear's avoidance issues later, but for now, let's get into the meat of these lyrics.
Oh, I'm just a kid. I never use my brain.
I never use my brain, I only use my heart and my imagination, is the hopeless romantic impulse that causes Bear to use the One-Wish Willow in the first place. Since he can't use his brain to do the logical thing, ask Nikki out himself, he goes the hopeless romantic route instead, heart and imagination, and wishes on a cheap tchotchke for this girl to love him instead. Logically, this should not have worked. Even Bear doesn't believe it at first, and is ready to believe the lie that she was on drugs instead of believing that magic is real. This actually makes me think that the discrepancies that Bear sees when researching the validity of the One-Wish Willow are caused by one's level of hope and belief that the wish will actually work. I truly believe that Bear put the power of his own unhealthy obsession into the wish that possessed Nikki. Essentially, he thinks with his passion first, logic later.
Oh, I'm just a kid. I always make mistakes. I never say I'm sorry, 'cause the mistakes that I made.
Again, we get the declaration that Bear is just a kid, so when he makes mistakes, he should be forgiven, right? Wrong.
The lyrics then talk about how he's always making mistakes, but he never apologizes for them. Instead, he chooses the self-pitying angle, going back to the whole wah, wah feeling of the song. They seem to suggest that no one suffers more than him when he makes mistakes, which is the stance that he chooses to take in the movie about the wish that he made, even after confirming that Nikki is suffering.
After his chilling conversation with the customer service rep, he knows that Nikki is being forced to be with him. He knows that he fucked up big time, but still can't admit that he's in too deep or even in the wrong. This is the moment in the film where Bear officially becomes the villain, as after this, he won't acknowledge her loss of autonomy and the clear distress that she's in. Bear's cruel selfishness is emphasized when he goes to sneak out to meet Sarah in the park. The real Nikki is able to break through the haze for a moment and speak to him while Freaky Nikki is asleep. She begs him to kill her because she is essentially being kept as a love slave, being tortured every day and the wish that he made. He asks her,
What's so bad about being with me?
she answers,
I've never been with you, Bear.
he doesn't seem to understand that it's not about him. He took everything from this poor girl, and the only thing he could think of is, what's so bad about being with me? Dude, she can't even be with herself anymore. When Bear isn't around, Nikki has no purpose. She just stands in the same place all day like an idling NPC, waiting for the main character to arrive so she can act out her programming. Even when Bear isn't around, she still can't indulge in simple joys anymore. For example, the morning that Nikki tapes the door shut, Bear walks out of the bedroom to find her reading on the couch. But if you look closely, you actually see that the book is upside down. This poor girl can't even do something as simple as read a book in peace because the wish has stripped almost every ounce of free will from her. Everything she does is an act for Bear, even when he isn't in the room. Every single part of this relationship has been against her will, and all he can do is leave her there begging for death while he runs out to meet another girl. Bear spends the whole movie trying to minimize his part in Nikki's psychosis and pretends that everything is fine. The guilt is tearing him up, but he doesn't admit to anybody that it's his own fault that she's not okay. He would not only have to admit that something is wrong with Nikki, but admit to the horror that she isn't with him consensually.
Oh, I'm just a kid. I've never seen the world, but I haven't quite decided if I'm a boy or a girl.
So with this stanza, I'm not about to say that I think Bear is trans. I think that in the context of this movie, this stanza more so represents life goals and personal identity. Our jobs play an important part of our identity and how others perceive us, after all. Think about it. One of the first things that people ask you after "what's your name" is, "So what do you do for work?" It's something that we spend approximately 40 hours a week doing, so it's a part of us no matter what. From the very start, we see that Nikki is kind, funny, and she knows who she is. She tells Bear that she's going to quit her job at the music store that her friend group works at to go work on her writing. Nikki is an aspiring author and believes that she can write something great if she puts herself in the right headspace to do so. I mean, damn, her last name is literally Freeman. Free man. It suits her confident demeanor and willingness to take risks, but is also ironic considering that she spends the whole film imprisoned. Bear is the exact opposite of Nikki. He's stagnant in life. working at a local music store, living in a house that he inherited from his grandma, of which he barely decorates as his own. I bet you anything that he also wears his grandpa's old clothes because he's got some whack fashion choices sometimes. Even when Nikki tells him why she's going to quit, he says,
It's just a job, Nikki.
dismissing her aspirations to become something more. It seems like discomfort and the unknown scares him so badly that he just wants things to stay the way they are now. Not complicated. Too paralyzed by choice and the potential of rejection to ever take the real leap of faith.
While he could be content at the music store and living at his grandma's place, we don't really see him ever take interest in anything that makes him happy or fulfilled. Even when Nikki asks him about his aspirations at dinner, he turns it into a joke instead of really thinking about the future. Everyone else in the group has something that they're passionate about, but Bear's only passion seems to be ruminating on Nikki.
Nikki has her writing, Sarah has tattooing, and Ian, well,
I love trivia night. It's all I have. I wake up every Wednesday rock hard thinking about trivia.
Oh, I'm just a kid, afraid of the dark, but I'm obsessed with ideas. One day I'll go far. Yeah, please.
I love this stanza so much because it makes me think of one of the scariest scenes in the whole movie. When Nikki is hiding in the corner of Bear's bedroom. That shit had me white-knuckling the armrests of the theater seat, for Christ's sake. Whatever uncanny valley frame rate bullshit they were doing with her, absolutely. But the longer I sat with this scene, the more I was disturbed by it. The slow burn terror of why Nikki might be in the corner is what really gets me thinking.
In the scene before, we see Bear essentially essaying Nikki, as her real self can't fully consent under the wish's spell, even if Freaky Nikki does.
We see that at night, real Nikki can sometimes break through the barrier while Freaky Nikki is asleep. I read her hiding in the bedroom corner as kind of a compromise between these two souls. Real Nikki doesn't want to be anywhere near Bear, especially in a bed, but Freaky Nikki always wants to be near him. When he asks her to come back to bed, she says,
No.
and backs back into the corner quickly. To me, this emphasizes the fact that she does not want to be near him. This is the chilling compromise that her body has come to be as far away from him as possible while still being able to keep an eye on him. At the third line, we get an almost title drop with the line, "I'm obsessed with ideas," and the movie being called Obsession, obviously. On the surface, this movie is about Freaky Nikki, or whatever you want to call the Wish version of her, obsessing over Bear. However, Bear is shown to be obsessed with Nikki first, or at least the idea of her, before he even makes this stupid wish. The intro scene of this movie sees Bear practicing his love confession, but he centers it around things that she does for him rather than things about her as a person.
He says things like,
And then after Nana passed, you were the one that called. Even when I didn't have anything to say and we just sat there.
and
Do you remember in Mr. Lando's class when I forgot my mouthpiece and you told me you had an extra one and then you gave me yours?
He doesn't point out any specific things that he likes about Nikki. You're smart, you're funny, you're generous. Nothing. Nothing about his confession explains why Nikki specifically is special to him other than what she can do for him. Ironically, he ends his confession by saying,
That I would choose you over everything.
which we know to be false, because at the end of the movie, he can't go through with taking his own life to save hers. Bear doesn't fully know or really understands Nikki as a person, which is actually why he bought the One Wish Willow in the first place. The whole reason he went to the shop that had it was to replace the crystal that she dropped down the drain in the previous scene. When he asks the employee of the store,
It's one that's like good energy, like good vibes.
she points out citrine.
I mean, it's basically sunshine in a rock.
He picks it up, thinks about it, and says,
Nikki would hate that.
would she though? Since I'm extra as fuck, I looked up what people say about citrine, and my goodness does Nikki need this one in her life. Sources say that citrine is commonly used to enhance happiness, yes, but also creativity, focus, and goal visualization. These are all things that Nikki needs in her life right now, but Bear doesn't really know her well enough to put those pieces together. His love of her is kind of surface level, which is also why I think it takes him a while to realize that he's not actually dating Nikki. He was so obsessed with the idea of a relationship with her that he didn't even realize that she wasn't acting at all like the girl that he claims to love. Not only is he obsessed with Nikki, but he's obsessed with proving to everyone, including himself, that Nikki really does love him, even if the evidence suggests otherwise. This is where the last line, "One day I'll go far," comes into play. It's Bear's hope that one day this relationship will even out and the two of them will be able to have a normal, healthy relationship together.
Oh, I no longer care, and everything has changed. There's nothing in my heart, and lightning in my brain.
This stanza actually brings it back around to the scene that this song is playing in, when Bear and Sarah are chilling in her car in the park. Okay, actually, this stanza is more so talking about after this scene. You know, after Freaky Nikki goes all Last of Us on Sarah's face. Sarah's violent death at the hands of Freaky Nikki rips Bear from his state of complacency and officially ends his feigned ignorance. His hopeless romantic, kid-like innocence about the situation is destroyed in that moment, and he can no longer deny how dangerous Freaky Nikki is. He is no longer hoping that this all works out and just wants to rid himself of the wish as soon as possible. After this scene, he starts frantically running around town, looking for a solution to his problem. He enters the Green Man shop from the beginning, sweaty and covered in blood that isn't his own, not caring who sees. He has tunnel vision and is operating on pure adrenaline and self-preservation. I relate this manic energy of Bear's to the line about having lightning in my brain. Lightning is made of pure energy and wreaks havoc where it strikes, similar to Bear in the last act of this film.
So listen up, you kids. You hear what I say? Don't listen to your brain. And follow your dreams. I say.
This last stanza emphasizes the lesson that the movie wants us to understand. Don't listen to the doubt in your brain, chase after what you want in life, and don't put fate into the hands of a wish. We're all running out of time, every day, so use it to its fullest potential while you still can. Advocate for yourself and believe that you can do wonderful things, and actually take the steps necessary to make them happen. I mean, damn, look at the guys that made this movie. Obsession is breaking records and deserves every ounce of praise that it gets. Curry Barker and Cooper Tomlinson started as comedy YouTubers, but had the drive to make their horror vision come to life and get to the big screen. Take it from them. Follow your dreams, and whatever you do, don't be a bear. While the lyrics of Kids help reinforce Bear's own warped sense of innocence, I actually think that this song is a great vehicle to talk about the other manipulations going on in the film.
Yes, we know that obsession is partially an allegory for a particular type of real-life DA demonstrated by Freaky Nikki.
Making it seen at a public restaurant to get her way, making Bear feel guilty for wanting time for himself or friends, and threatening to harm herself if he ever leaves her are a few examples. Even down to feeding him, harmful things without his knowledge. These are all red flags that are rife with DA and manipulation in general. However, I want to talk about the other three people in this friend group: Bear, Ian, and Sarah. They have all known each other since high school, and that kind of bond leaves you with a lot of information about your friends. As time creeps by, you all see each other at your best and your worst moments while growing up. You know who they really are underneath it all and what they're truly motivated by. This group of friends unfortunately uses this power for their own personal gain throughout the film. Let's start with Ian, since he's actually the first one to do this. In the introduction scene of the movie, when Bear is practicing his love confession with the waitress, Ian shoots down his vulnerable approach and intentionally gives him bad advice. He basically tells Bear to neg her, or insulting her as a method of flirting, assuring him that calling her Freaky Nikki would work on her. However, Bear knows that Nikki hates this nickname and calls Ian out for it. We later learn that Ian and Nikki were hooking up on and off for the past 2 years, so any advice that Ian gives is all to sabotage Bear in the end. Even though he's pretty positive that Nikki isn't interested in Bear, he's hoping that this confession goes poorly to ensure that Nikki remains single and available for him. Ian continues to falsely hype up Bear in the beginning of the film, all while disrupting his opportunities to confess at every point he can. If Bear was really his best friend, like they suggest, I think that he should have taken a moment to break the news to him that he and Nikki were already involved. The way that Ian won't just bite the bullet, pun intended, and tell Bear the truth is also a parallel for the brand of cowardice that Bear embodies throughout the film. This man lies to everyone in order to preserve his fake relationship, even to himself. The first big lie is with Nikki, when she gives him the opportunity of a lifetime to tell her flat out if he has romantic feelings for her, but he denies it again and again.
Do you like me?
What?
Because if you do, now's the time to tell me.
I think we're good friends.
This spineless behavior carries forth as Bear lies to his friends about his relationship with Nikki. He tells them everything is fine, everything is normal, and most of all, everything is consensual. Now, after the phone call with the One Wish Willow customer service rep in his car, we know what's happening to Nikki is not because she wants to be with Bear. He is doing the supernatural equivalent of keeping this woman trapped in his basement. Everything he does after this moment is despicable because it shows that he doesn't really love her. He just loves possessing her. If he really cared about her as a person, he would have at least stopped trying to make things work with Nikki. He is dodgy and quiet around his friends throughout Ian's party, even after Nikki smashes a broken bottle into her face. He just sits there, staring at the floor as his friends shout at him to do something. He can't even face his friends because it's so obvious that things have gotten out of control. Lastly, we have Sarah, who is the one playing this song in the car with Bear. The song isn't on when he gets in the car and only comes on when Sarah suggests that Bear needs somebody more chill than Nikki as a partner.
Like you.
This song is from Bear's perspective, yes. But I also think that this is kind of how Sarah sees Bear. She sees him as just a kid who's caught in an abusive situation. She asks him multiple times if Nikki is taking advantage of him, while downplaying Nikki's obvious mental health struggles. If you've known your friends that long, you'd know something was way off when sweet, cool Nikki Freeman starts acting manic and violent. However, because of her crush on Bear, it blinds Sarah to the suffering of her love rival. She's probably also extra bitter because the morning this whole situation popped off, she confided in Nikki about her crush on Bear. Then Nikki turns around and starts dating him after assuring her that he's like a little brother to her. And obviously that sentiment is emphasized by the creepy fucking Hansel and Gretel reading at Ian's party. That specific monologue also relates back to the song Kids, as, well, they're both about the slow corruption of youth and the loss of innocence. Nikki's sudden interest in Bear must have felt like a very personal betrayal for Sarah. The kind that probably cuts Sarah deep, poisoning her with a potent mix of infatuation and revenge, causing her to ultimately try to seduce Bear. Ian, Bear, and Sarah all end up using Nikki as a pawn for their own selfish desires and end up paying the ultimate price for it. Poor Nikki Freeman, dude. She didn't deserve any of this, but at least she's the last one standing at the end of the movie. I like to think that after the camera cuts, Nikki goes over to Ian's house and grabs a fat stack of cash from the ground. I mean, she did hear him say that he had $1 billion to spend, and she knows the One Wish Willow's work. From there, Nikki is able to pin the murder of Ian and Sarah on Bear. After all, he's the one covered in Sarah's blood and has her bloody admissions letter in his pocket. His fingerprints are also on the gun that killed Ian from when he goes into the bathroom at the end of the movie. The ending I choose to believe is that Nikki heals, mentally and physically, and becomes a best-selling writer, without the help of a shitty wish. Obsession is one of the best horror movies that I've seen in a while, and I guess it shows. I've been thinking about this movie nonstop, listening to this Currents Joys song on a loop, and working on this video essay for the last 2 months. When you love something this much, it can inspire you in ways that you'd never expect, which is one of the many reasons why making art and sharing it with people is so special. It can inspire you to analyze a song that you once knew in a totally different light. It can make you write a 4,000-word essay about the art that inspired you. It can make you lose sleep, you think so much about it. And people have told me recently that maybe I am thinking about this too much, but I have always been a bit obsessive about my interests. What can I say? I just love this movie so. What the fuck?
Hey everybody, I hope you liked the video. Be sure to give it a like if you enjoyed it, and be sure to share it to anybody else that might be a little bit obsessed with this movie. For this video's discussion, here's my question to you all. When do you think that Bear officially became the villain? I think it's the customer service scene, but I could also see the dinner scene as being a turning point for him too. I've asked my friends this question and have gotten a lot of different answers. So leave yours below in the comments, because I want to know what you think. For now, that's all for this video, and I wish that you have a great day.